Hello, welcome back everybody. So I'll just make a video on this whole Binance Lending situation, what that actually means, and just try and keep it short and sweet. I don't want to drag it out for too long, and just is it worth it or not, basically. So for those who know about Binance, you'll have recently seen that they've added to their exchange the facility to do margin trading, which obviously carries a lot more risk. If you don't know what margin trading is, just Google it. I'm not going to go into that really, but basically it's the ability to make more money but also lose everything completely. So you can leverage your if you have 100 XRP, you obviously make money on that going up or down like you would on the exchange. That's fine, but if you want to accumulate more, then you would do margin trading and you would times your holdings by 2, 10 or whatever, and get that much more back. So you can really win on that, but most people lose on that. So it's always a profitable thing for some company like Binance to go into margin trading, because most people lose, you see. It's really hard to do, especially for the retail customers that Binance would basically cater towards. So Binance will make a lot of money of people losing out, as well as making money from them winning, through premiums and things like this. So it's a win-win for Binance. Sorry about that. So yeah, so it's a win-win for Binance, but they obviously have come across a little bit of an issue, which is they need to have an abundance of coins in order to compensate for that leverage, and they're prepared to ask their customers like you and me if we're prepared to lend our coins to Binance in order for them to put up for the leverage of the margin trade. So hopefully that made sense to you. But the good thing about this whole lending platform is that it would appear that Binance are prepared to carry any risk, all the risk in fact, and offer you an APR, so an annual percentage rate, on the amount that you've lent to them. So you have to lend it to them for a year's period in order to qualify for the returns, and different coins appear to offer different APRs back. So it's just like you would see at a bank. Most banks have an APR, on your overall account of, well, I mean, they vary. Not many banks will offer more than 1% on a general account. You might be lucky and get a 3%, and if you're rich, you'll probably get a bit more than that. But most people will be lucky to see a 3% on their bank balance anyway. It's usually something like 1. So if you're a hodler of any of these coins or these tokens, then it would appear to me, I don't see any problem with it, if you're a hodler, to lend your coins to Binance. I don't see any problem with that. It would, like I say, it would appear that they guarantee that you would not lose out, that they would carry all the risk, and that if you're prepared to lend it to them for a period over 12 months, then you would see relatively good returns. Considering if you're hodling anyway, you're not making anything on it. This might be something you might want to consider. Me personally, I am considering it, but I'm not entirely sure. The only thing that I'd be able to lend to them would be Matic. Anyways, the only coin that I have quite a large amount of. But I'm more interested in staking, and that's your other option for some of these coins. You could stake your balance and make more. So it's one of those things. You've got to have a think about it. But like I say, if you're a hodler, it doesn't seem like there's any cons to doing this, other than the fact that you won't have those coins technically for a 12-month period. So the coins that are available for lending are exactly the sort of exactly the coins basically that are available for margin trading on Binance, and it would be reasonable to assume that if they add any more coins to the margin trading platform, that they will add them to the lending platform too. So you've got all the major coins here listed at the top. Currently we've got Matic, EOS, Tether, Dash, blah 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 blah. All the main coins that you would expect to see, but only the ones clearly that are available for margin trading, and that is it. It's as simple as that. So let's just have a look at something like, just as an example, if you were to give 100 USDT, so 100 Tether to Binance for 1 year, you would receive not only 100 back, but 10% on top, so you'd receive 110 Tether over a year's period. fine. I'm okay with that. And that's how it works. And different coins have different APRs, which is what this means. The 6% annualized. That's your annual percentage rate. So if I was to have 100 Matic in there, I'd receive 106 back after a year. Now this is very new, so they're doing little trial periods on it now. So these might not actually, it might not work out for Binance. They might think of another way around it. But this is kind of in a test phase at the moment. But they're doing it for a 14-day period, so you would still receive a pro-rated version of that 6%. So over 14 days, you would think, well, so what's this? So 6% over 12 months. So you'd be looking at about 1/4% back over that 14 days of whatever it was that you were to give. So not a great deal, but if you're a hodler, what you got to lose? Like I say, it's that, and that it's as simple as that. So a lot of people asking questions, and I don't see a problem with this. Actually, I don't see it as a bad thing, and I think it's got very little. If anything, it's got no cons other than the fact that those coins won't be yours for 12 months. So if the market completely crashed, for instance, you wouldn't have access to your coins to sell them. That would be the downside to it. You don't have those to sell if everything was to go completely wrong in the entire crypto market. If you've got belief or trust in the market and you think it's just going to be going up anyway, go for it. There's no problem with it. That's the only con I can see to it, is that you won't have access to sell in an absolute red alert situation. But yeah, if you're just hodling them in the first place, lend them to Binance. Anyway, I'll just leave it with you there. It's just a real brief video. So I hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.